True, none of them are in Mensa, but who's the most densa? For context, Sunny is a staunch supporter of reparations and has made a fortune spewing nonsense about white privilege. Perhaps it's Sunny who mastered the art of making idiots look smart.
Did you hear about the roast that shook The View to its core? Greg Gutfeld just delivered a verbal smackdown so brutal it left Sunny Hostin scrambling for words. But here's the kicker, Gutfeld didn't just roast Hostin, he exposed a shocking truth about her family history that's got everyone talking. You won't believe what he revealed on live TV. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Who would have thought a late night host could shake up the world of daytime TV? Enter Greg Gutfeld, the unlikely contender in the talk show arena.
We've got the earthquake, ran down the hallway.
Their brains are small. But who's the dumbest one of all? She's not as oppressed as she claims she is. She's actually the descendant of slave owners from Europe.
While The View had long been the undisputed queen of daytime television, a storm was brewing in the late night circuit that would soon change everything. Gutfeld's rise to fame wasn't your typical Hollywood story. He wasn't a polished celebrity or a well-connected insider. Instead, he was the guy who dared to say what others wouldn't. His brand of humor was like a sharp knife, cutting through the hypocrisy of mainstream media figures with surgical precision. And boy, did audiences eat it up.
True, none of them are in Mensa, but who's the most densa? For context, Sunny is a staunch supporter of reparations and has made a fortune spewing nonsense about white privilege.
While other late-night hosts were busy cracking jokes about celebrities and playing silly games, Gutfeld was taking on the big guns. He wasn't afraid to confront controversial topics head-on, and his direct approach was like a breath of fresh air for viewers tired of the same old song and dance. But here's where things got really interesting. Gutfeld's popularity wasn't just confined to the late-night crowd anymore. His razor-sharp wit started making waves beyond his usual time slot, catching the attention of daytime viewers who were hungry for something different. Industry experts couldn't help but notice that Gutfeld's approach was striking a chord with audiences who were fed up with the usual media narratives.
Perhaps it's Sunny who mastered the art of making idiots look smart. She was on PBS's Finding Your Roots, a show dedicated to researching celebrity ancestry.
As Gutfeld's star continued to rise, something unexpected started happening. The ratings began to shift, and it wasn't in favor of the daytime giants. Industry insiders were caught off guard as they watched Gutfeld's viewership numbers climb higher and higher. The View, once thought to be untouchable, suddenly found itself looking over its shoulder. The stage was set for a David versus Goliath showdown that nobody saw coming. On one side, you had The View, the long-standing champion of daytime TV with its army of well-known hosts. On the other, there was Gutfeld, the scrappy underdog armed with nothing but his wit and a growing legion of fans.
Apocalypse is someone that dumb has a law degree. Worse, if your name has the word sun in it, there's no excuse for not knowing how an eclipse works. Hostin's obsession with race gets thrown back in her face. Today's video comes to us from Sunny Hostin.
As the battle heated up, Gutfeld's viewership skyrocketed, threatening The View's long-held reign. His ability to engage in direct confrontations with figures from shows like The View wasn't just entertaining viewers, it was positioning him as a force to be reckoned with in the talk show arena. Suddenly, the idea of a late-night host taking on the daytime Goliath didn't seem so far-fetched after all. Just when The View thought they'd weathered the storm, Greg Gutfeld unleashed a verbal assault that left one of their own reeling. Sunny Hostin, known for her passionate stance on racial issues, was about to face a revelation that would shake her to her core. Gutfeld, with his trademark sharp wit, delivered a roast so brutal it left the entire panel of The View visibly squirming. He zeroed in on Hostin's ancestry, dropping a bombshell that would send shockwaves through the daytime TV world.
But it's no surprise that Joy is the one who understands science. She's been on the science diet for years. Everyone knows the moon caused the eclipse, which is controlled by The View's gravitational pull.
Hostin's obsession with race gets thrown back in her face. Gutfeld remarked, his words cutting through the air like a knife. But what could possibly cause such discomfort? The shocking truth was about to be unveiled. Gutfeld revealed that Sunny Hostin, the very woman who had built her reputation on discussing systemic racism, was herself a descendant of slave owners. The irony was palpable, and the studio fell into an uncomfortable silence. Hostin, usually quick with a comeback, was left speechless. "I'm a little bit in shock," she stammered, her usual confidence shattered.
They're turning on me. So that makes Sunny Hostin, who thinks climate change caused the solar eclipse, the dumbest of them all. All right, Kat, did you ever see such a group? It's amazing how Joy and Whoopi became the smart one. Kat, think about that choice. Like, would any sane person want that job at The View?
"I didn't think my family was originally from Spain and slaveholders." The revelation hit her like a ton of bricks, and the audience could feel the weight of her words. But Gutfeld wasn't done. He twisted the knife further, pointing out the hypocrisy of Hostin's previous statements. "It's going to be so awkward on new episodes of The View when she tries to pull the race card," he quipped, his words dripping with sarcasm. The tension in the studio was so thick you could cut it with a knife.
Descendants of this, will she continue to do that when she is now one of them? All right, Kat, did you ever see such a group? It's amazing how Joy and Whoopi became the smart one. And it is funny. She's so wrapped up in identity, and she had no idea who she was.
The other hosts of The View were left scrambling for a response. Whoopi Goldberg, usually the voice of reason, attempted to change the subject, but the damage was already done. The panel's discomfort was evident, and viewers at home could sense the panic setting in. As if the on-air drama wasn't enough, social media exploded with reactions. Memes and jokes spread like wildfire, with one particularly biting comment reading, "Reparations, let me write that check to myself real quick." The internet was having a field day with Hostin's predicament, and The View's reputation was taking hit after hit. The fallout from this roast wasn't just limited to Hostin. The entire credibility of The View was now in question. How could they continue to discuss racial issues when one of their own hosts had such a complicated history? The future of the show hung in the balance, and viewers were left wondering if this could be the beginning of the end for the daytime TV giant. The View's future is hanging by a thread, and this latest controversy might just be the final straw. Advertisers are getting cold feet, distancing themselves from the show's drama-filled antics. It's like watching a sinking ship, and everyone's scrambling for the lifeboats. But here's where things get really interesting. Will ABC pull the plug on The View? The once mighty daytime titan is now looking more like a wounded giant. With advertisers jumping ship and viewers tuning out, the network might be forced to make some tough decisions. Is this the end of The View as we know it? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, the daytime TV landscape is about to get a major shakeup. Stay tuned because this story is far from over. And don't forget to drop your thoughts in the comments below.